94XO, it's MonneXo. I'm here hanging out at Spirit of Love Church, about to interview Pastor Lee. Stay tuned. You're watching 94XO. So, Pastor, tell me about your story behind the Spirit of Love Church.
Okay, Spirit of Love Church was founded in 2012. So this is our 8th year. And I had been an associate, I had been an interim pastor, I had been a senior associate pastor, and then God called me to organize, and we organized.
I say, and knowing that you're a woman pastor, that's something that's extraordinary, that's great. What made you decide that you wanted to do that? So you're talking about you did all these steps, but what in your heart made you realize this is where you needed to be?
So, and it's right where I need to be, not what I wanted, because I really didn't really want to do it. When I started going to Bible college, it was to be a better Sunday school teacher. But my father, who was a pastor, he pastored 53 years. And he always asked me, you know, daughter, when are you going to accept your call? And I'm like, well, whenever he calls me, because he had, you know, the Lord hadn't called me. And so my father died in '99. And when he died, God didn't actually tell me until after my father died that I was going to preach the gospel. And so I was at a church, and I was an associate minister. I was interim pastor at the church. They weren't big on women pastors.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a doctorate degree, so I didn't, you know, meet the criteria. And when they hired a new pastor, I stayed there a while with him, but then God told me to move. So I went to a lot of different churches, and I wound up at Calvary Missionary Baptist Church. And I served as the senior associate, which was like the assistant pastor there.
Okay.
And there were quite a few women ministers there. So that pastor, Reverend Goatley, he still embraces women. And I served there, and I was comfortable. And then God said one day, okay, you got to get out the boat. And so I was obedient and sent letters out to people who I knew to let them know that I was having a meeting, and I had this meeting to tell them what God told me.
Yeah.
And had a service. At the first service, I think maybe 8 people joined. And that was in 2012. And we moved here 2 years ago.
Okay.
This month. And then we have about maybe 120 members now.
Now, how has the experience been for you so far, like when it comes to the different challenges that you may face?
As a pastor or as a woman?
Both.
So as a woman, the challenges now are not as great, or I don't see them as great now as they were before. Because before I wasn't a pastor, I was a woman minister. And, you know, now that I'm a pastor, it's kind of like I'm in my own space. So before, it was almost like dancing to somebody else's music.
Yeah.
But now that I'm a pastor, I'm like, I might dance with you and I might not. So but it has been challenging. Even today, in 2020, there are Baptist churches, because we're Baptists, where I can't go in the pulpit because the pastor is a man, or the members are old school and they don't believe in women preachers.
Wow.
So I have been to churches. I preached at a church a few months ago here in the city, and after I preached, one of the ladies told me they have a new pastor. Their pastor retired, they have a new pastor. I preached there once before, and I stood on the floor to preach, right? And this time I preached, and one of the women reminded me about the last time I was there, and she said, you know, the church just celebrated their 100+ anniversary, and you're the first woman who's been in our pulpit.
Wow. And I'm gonna say, how did that make you feel?
And I was like, wow, this, you know, and she told me after service, and I thought, you know, this is 2020, but it doesn't bother me. It used to, but it doesn't now, because it's like, okay, I can be your friend, but when it comes to ministry, if you're still on that page, I'm not really gonna, not that I don't want to fellowship with people, but it's so old school, and there's so much work to be done, and if I have to be blocked by the fact that I'm a woman, then that's wasting time.
And that's kind of like ties into my next question of what are some changes that you would like to see within the next few years?
What I would like for, you know, there's all this talk about equality and all these, you know, messages about everything that's going on. But when it comes to women, of course, everywhere, you know, we are having issues. But I would like to see in the church, one, that women are seen as equal because we're not, you know, and women carry the church. In the district that I'm a part of, the women's mission group is the largest, and I would say the most faithful group in the whole district, and they're the least supported.
Isn't that crazy?
So, we just had one Sunday where every woman in every church stayed home and kept their money. Let's see what would happen. But I would really like to see us being accepted for who we are. In other denominations, you know, it's the norm. Women are in leadership, and there's not that, whatever it is. But my father always told me that he believes in the Baptist church. He said that, you know, especially in his day, the pastors, my father was a janitor for the railroad. And so back then men were, you know, janitors, garbage men, you know, whatever. But on Sunday, when they put on that robe, they were the pastor. And so my father always thought that Black men were intimidated because they finally found a place where they could be on top, and then here comes a woman. And so he thinks that that's why some don't accept women. They'll say that it's in the Bible, but they don't really show you exactly what the scripture says. So
I say, like you said, like over time, everything now, women are really getting into those leadership roles, and they seem like, seeing on the news and stuff, that it's intimidating men. So I can understand that. Let's go back and talk about the mission for the church. Can you elaborate on that?
So our mission here, the scripture that our church was built on, there's a scripture where these men were talking to Jesus, and this lawyer was really trying to trip him up. And he was like, okay, so what's the greatest commandment in the law? And he was talking about Moses' law. And so Jesus' answer was, love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul, all your mind. That's the greatest commandment. And then he said, the second is this, love your neighbor as yourself. So that's what our church is founded on. You know, we love God with everything we have, and we love our neighbor as ourselves. And then he, of course, you know, at one point somebody said, well, who's my neighbor? And then he went on to tell the story about the Good Samaritan. So that is the basis of this church. You know, we just love. We just love people. We do what we need to do to show the love. We don't make a lot of fuss about doing it. And so everybody here has a solo, S-O-L-O, which is a spirit of love obligation. And mine might be to feed the hungry, and somebody else's might be to do a prison ministry, and somebody else, you know, we all have different obligations, but we all have an obligation in the spirit of love because of our relationship with God.
And bring everybody together
And
as
bring
one.
everybody together as one. Yes, ma'am.
Now let's talk about COVID. I know that COVID has affected everybody in some type of way. What are some things that COVID has affected here at the church?
So here, of course, we shut down like everybody else did. And there was a great amount of fear. So I spent a lot of time talking to people. They were calling me, they were terrified. I ministered to a lot of people who have had death in their family because of COVID. Outside of our congregation, I have ministered to friends, even minister friends, who have been ill with COVID or who have lost loved ones with COVID. And so it kind of, to me, it's given us as a congregation a sense of fear in the beginning. And but we stay connected through our prayer calls, and so now people are getting stronger. We were going to come back last month, and the Board of Deacons and I talked about it, and they were like, well, maybe not, the numbers are high. And then members start calling me and saying, I got to get back to church. I just need to be in the building. And so this time I didn't ask the deacons. I just kind of said, I suggested, we need to go back.
We need to do this.
And so Sunday, we'll be back in on this Sunday. Originally, we were going to have our service in the fellowship hall because I was paranoid. You know, I'm thinking, oh, well, it's clean in there. There's no carpet, you know, everything. You can scrub it down and do everything. It just felt cleaner. But we were going to have two services, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. People had to RSVP. We did all of that. And then we didn't come back then. So then for now, it's like, I don't have that fear that I had at the beginning, you know. So we're going to meet in here. We have one of the sanitizer, fogger kind of machines. And so we'll be back in here. We're going to limit it to 50 people. And we've got enough room for everybody to spread out. We've been coming on Facebook every Sunday. And we also have a call-in number where people can call. And so we're going to keep that going. But we
I was going to say, did you do Facebook Lives before COVID, or it was something that happened?
during COVID, we didn't
Okay.
do it before, and
Okay.
so every Sunday, we haven't really missed a beat. Every Sunday, I'd come here. We'd have one. At first, it was just two people, myself and another minister, and he used his phone. He went live. Now our social media ministry is involved, so we might have 3 or 4 people here. But every Sunday we have it, and people are connecting, and people are staying. So now that we're coming back, because we've had the connection, people are feeling the strength, and they're not as afraid. And I think it's going to be all right.
And I think it's beneficial too, because now you have another outlet where people can still attend church, using Facebook Live.
Right.
For those that may be scared to come in, but now it's where you're able to expand and have other target audiences.
Right.
Come visit church with you guys. So that's exciting. I'm glad you guys made it through. Like it's been a lot. Like it's been challenging.
It's been challenging. But I also think that for us, God has used the COVID experience to strengthen our faith, and then to help us think about some areas in ministry that we've been afraid to tap into. And I believe he's pulling some ministries out of some people. And once we come back, I said last Sunday, we're going to come back stronger than we left.
Yeah.
And so when we come back, COVID will still be here, but we're going to work around COVID.
Get through it.
Yes,
exactly.
yes.
Now we're going to use my Cosary jar. We got 3 questions in there that you're going to answer. So you're going to pick questions from here. They're random.
3?
Yeah, you're going to pick 3. So you can pick one at a time.
Okay. You have to leave it? Can I take it out?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Oh, my.
Super random.
Okay. So I have to, okay.
And then you can read them out loud.
Okay. What is the most embarrassing thing you have ever worn? So you may not think this would be embarrassing, but I went to a banquet, and I had picked the dress I was going to wear. And I picked it maybe a year before. So when I put it on, it was much too little.
It was a little short.
It was little all the way around. But I didn't have time to put anything else on. So I was so uncomfortable. It was embarrassing because it just, no.
It's like nowadays, that's what's in now. People like the short.
If they're short, but not if it's short and your stomach is here, and it was embarrassing.
I'll share with you. It was not necessarily what I wore, but I'm very clumsy, so I ripped a hole in my pants. So I'm like walking around with a big old hole, like right here.
Okay, you win.
Nobody told me or anything.
Oh gosh. Okay, yeah, you win.
Okay, you put the next question.
Okay, I'm not really doing good. Need to put a little spice in my life, apparently. Okay, this one says, what is something that everyone looks stupid doing? Picking their nose.
Picking your nose.
Picking your nose. I think everybody looks stupid doing that.
So last question.
Okay. You think so? He thinks so. Okay. Okay, I hope this is a good one. I think. Okay, I got 2.
Oh.
What, I have to do them both?
No.
I don't mind.
I said, if you want to.
Well, let's see what they say.
Let's change the game up a little.
Oh my gosh, I don't. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's do this one. If you had to give up either brushing your teeth or brushing your hair every day, which one would you choose? Brushing my hair.
I was like brushing my hair.
Because
I need a clean mouth.
Yes, I need a clean mouth, and my hair is natural, so I have already not brushed it. But this one here is kind of. Did you pick these out yourself?
Yeah.
So this one says, how many chickens would it take to kill an elephant? Maybe 1. Maybe an elephant is scared of chickens and would see it and drop dead. I don't know. What is the answer?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I say, Pastor, this was fun. I appreciate you taking the time speaking with me. Can you let everybody know where they can find more information about you and the church?
So we have a Facebook page, Spirit of Love Church. Just look there. That's all. But once we get back in and get moving, we'll have some more stuff out there.
Okay.
But for now, that's it.
I say I'm MonneXo. Make sure you guys subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit like and subscribe. And make sure you guys follow us on social media platforms at 94XO. Make sure you spell the 90 out. We are out. Be easy. It's your girl MonneXo, and you just finished a 94XO interview. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment to our YouTube channel, and follow us on social media platforms. Be easy.